All right. Hey there, it's Wellness Wednesday today. I'm not sure when I'm going to post this though, so I don't know when you might be watching it, but it is Wellness Wednesday. I'm loving this weather. It is so awesomely cool, and I think the reason I love it so much is because I know it's coming, you know, in the summer, in July and August and September. Because June is still, it's okay still for me, but by the time the end of June comes, early July, no bueno. So I'm so excited because this is a cauliflower grilled cheese recipe, and it really doesn't work well with the live, so I'm just gonna have to deal with the edits. And so if it looks spicy and bad, y'all are just gonna have to bear with me. I'm learning. I may be technology challenged. So anyway, we're gonna take 6 cups of cauliflower rice, okay? And I already had some that I had done in my food processor. Have no fear though, if you do not have a food processor, or you do not want to mess with the food processor because you are a working mom or dad or whatever, then just buy it already in the bag. It's in most of your big grocery supermarkets. So we're gonna measure out 6 cups. And we're gonna put it on some parchment paper on a cookie sheet. This is actually a jelly pan, not a cookie sheet, but that's okay. And then I'm gonna throw it in the oven for, I think it's like 25 minutes. I'll have to look that up. All right, so I'm just gonna spread this out in the pan. Ooh, I got a little green thing in there. And I'm gonna put it in the oven for about 25 minutes. At 425. So, and that just starts the process so we can make the loaves of bread. But it's gonna call for a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, 3 eggs, and some low-fat cheddar cheese. However, use whatever cheese that you want. You know, it's your journey. And I know Mike loves Swiss cheese, so if I can ever find low-fat Swiss cheese, I would buy it. But you know, Mike's fine. You know, if he wants his Swiss cheese, and I can't find the low-fat, that's fine. He gets regular Swiss cheese. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven. We're back, and the cauliflower cooked for 30 minutes at 425. I think I said 25 minutes before, but it's 30 minutes. So yeah, and you want to make sure that it's cooked because you don't want kind of crunchy bread. That's probably not too good. So now the next step is that we need to put the cauliflower into the colander, and the paper towels are covering the colander. And we need to try to get any extra moisture because, as you know, cauliflower has a lot of moisture in it. And so I was gonna scoop these first few scoops out just because I didn't want to make a mess. And if you notice, the cauliflower browns, and that's okay because when I made it before, it was good, you know, as it's going to be bread. So it gave it some texture. Anyway, it was not a problem. All right, so we're going to dump the rest of this into the colander. I think I'll probably have to get another piece of parchment paper here in a minute. But now, I do have some like cheesecloth type towels, but I have found that they actually don't work as well as paper towels as far as removing the moisture, and then the cauliflower really sticks to them and it's kind of messy. So I'm just gonna apply some pressure on the cauliflower, and some of it will stick, but it's not too bad. And you see all the moisture that comes up. So we just want to try to get rid of that as much as possible, because that is one of the challenges with. I'm just driving. It's pretty funny. Driving my fist down into the cauliflower, and I'm just gonna try one more. And what I'm doing, these are, you know, these are these half split sheets that Bounty has, but so this would be like 2 paper towels put together. I really like this whole baking of cauliflower, because I think this could work too if you just wanted to microwave the cauliflower and cook it that way, but you wouldn't get those nice little baked little crumbs in there. So, I mean, you could also do it that way, possibly. You'd still have to get the moisture out. And look at, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a lot that came through on the countertop. Interesting. The other day when I made it, it wasn't as much. Okay, so now we have this cauliflower. See how much it shrunk down. And we're gonna go ahead and add it into the bowl. There's 3 eggs, and I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of Parmesan. There's also a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there, which of course is optional if you want to or not. I know people are very different about salt. Some want none, and other people feel like that 1/4 teaspoon of salt really helps with the cooking. So it's up to you, whatever you want to do. You can do that. All right, so we're just gonna mix this up. Sorry if the banging's loud. It's probably even louder because I have the AirPods on. And then I need to add in this Parmesan and the salt. All right, so here it is, mixed up. And, you know, one thing I need to do is I need to dry off this pan because there's a lot of moisture on it. We just dried out that cauliflower. All right, I'm gonna dry that off. I'm gonna get another parchment paper liner. Okay, I'm getting a fresh new one that's not wet. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, make sure this is mixed up really good. And I did turn the heat down the oven to 400 from 425, which is what I had it on earlier. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to get the 1/3 cup measuring cup, 1/3 of the cup measuring cup, and pack the cauliflower in there just so. Let's see. Make sure you can see this. Siri, go away. I'm sorry. SARI just interrupted it. It's amazing. It just blows me away. Okay. So this is a 1/3 cup, and we're just gonna put it out here on the cookie sheet, or this is technically a jelly roll pan, all right? And then you're just gonna shape it. You know what, don't beat yourself up about how you shape this. You can shape it in a square, like a bread piece. And what I did the other day, and you wanna make them sort of thin, not too thin, but not too thick either, because you want them to cook. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put them in the oven for like 8 to 10 minutes, I think. And so you can take a spatula-looking thing like this and sort of square it out if you need to. I would normally use a spatula, but my son used it this morning, so I didn't even realize that until just now. So it's not clean anymore. So we'll use this little handy Tupperware thing, tool. Okay, so we're gonna make out 6 pieces of bread, basically, like this, with the cauliflower, okay? And I'm not gonna bore you with all of that. Actually, I can just put it on fast forward. All right, so I was gonna try to cram them all on this one jelly roll pan, but I needed a larger pan to do that without it probably running into the others, so I have an oddball pan. That's okay. So now I'm just gonna put them in the oven at 400 degrees and for 8 to 10 minutes. And then when we come back, you have 2 different options the way you want to cook them for grilled cheese. Okay, so it's so exciting to have grilled cheese, and it's very nutritionally healthy because you're getting protein, you're getting your vegetables with your cauliflower, and it's low fat, so it's very, very healthy. So be back in a bit. All right, so now we have cooked the cauliflower bread for about 8 to 10 minutes. I think I pushed it to 10. And now we're just ready. We're gonna take the bread, cauliflower off of the cookie sheet. I have an oversized spatula. I don't think it's necessary though. In fact, sometimes I think this spatula is harder to work than just a regular one. And you know, you kind of have to be careful. I've already heated up the skillet. So I'm just basically taking the cauliflower bread off of the cookie sheet, and then you're gonna take 3 slices of, this is the HEB low-fat sliced cheddar. You know, and I'm kind of picky about the way I put cheese and lunch meats, you know, and stuff, because I feel like you don't want to just lob it all right in the middle. Kind of, you know, when you got 3 slices, you need to spread it out a little bit. So I try to do that. If you're my husband, you would just throw it all in there and not really care. I'm a little bit more type A than that. So now I've got to get these other cauliflower breads off. And you know, again, you gotta have to be careful with them. Right, and then we're going to put them on there. I'll hold this paper down. The paper isn't helping. Okay. All right. Now we are just going to kind of fry them up. Now the fun part is if you decide to flip them, I think that's up to you whether you want to or not. And the other way to do this too is to put them back in the oven and not do the skillet. So if you're feeling like, I don't want to mess with the spatula and stuff, you can also put them back in the oven. You know, have them already put together and put them back in on the cookie sheet, back into the oven. And I think it says, I didn't do it that way because the note was if you wanted it crispier to do it this way, and I thought it just sounded better. But you would just basically put the sheet pan, you would just put the 3 slices of cheese onto one of them and flip one of them on top and put them back in the oven until the cheese is melted. So you don't necessarily have to flip these, and this could be a disaster. I never know. I'm not always the best flipper. So, but the cheese is melting pretty good. So, I'm very right-handed dominant, so definitely need to do it just so. Okay. Success! You never know. All right. That was pretty successful. Not as successful as the first one. See? So you're doing your little grilled cheese. Don't they look pretty? I just think they're so pretty. Here comes one of the dogs. She heard me. I'm in the kitchen. I'm making noise. There's food noises. And then I spoke in a high-pitched voice, so she came running in. That's Snuggle. She's our little pig. She's right down here right now. So I hope this is helpful. And if you want the recipe, let me know. And I'll send it to you. And in the meantime, enjoy your grilled cheese.